Hello and welcome to my basement. I'm Michael and this is Fenton Forest 4X on Farming Simulator 19. That was a bit of a mouthful. Alright, so we're back, like I said, at Fenton Forest. We are continuing with our plowing of the fields. I've just begun actually, so you haven't missed anything. I haven't cheated you like in the couple of episodes ago where I actually put lime all over a field without having you there. I'm terribly sorry about that, but well, you know, sometimes you have to choose to get the job done, and I did that. So, well, yeah. I guess what we're going to do in this episode and probably the following episode is to get the fields plowed. Maybe we will get both fields plowed today. I'm really not sure about that. But, well, today, I mean in this episode, but, yeah. What more do I have to say? Well, I guess it is so that you have already seen me plow a lot of fields, and as you can see, there's nothing really new to it than me going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I guess what I want to do is that I will fast forward this on your video, so it will go exceedingly fast for you, even though I have to endure the slowness, and then I will see you in the next episode. Wow. And then I will sorry about that, and then I will see you when I'm done. Alright, so now we are almost finished with this field. Let's take the last line here and get ready for the next field. So while I'm plowing this last part here in freehand, let me tell you a little about how my future life is going to be, and also in some sense how my future YouTube life is going to be. Because there are probably some changes that has come to be. That's going to be. When you see this video, I have already been to a job interview that I have been invited to at something called Games Workshop. Those of you who are familiar with the Warhammer series, Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k, you will definitely know the name Games Workshops. Those of you who have never heard the name before, let me tell you a little about what it is. So, Games Workshop is a factory, or whatever you want to call it, a company that makes these little tabletop models that are called Warhammer models, or minis. Some call them minis. They are relatively small, somewhere between 2 to 3 inches up to 7, 8, 9, 10 inches, something like that. They are used for a strategic wargaming, much like every computer game that you can play where you fight in a turn-based series. So the only thing that comes to my mind right now is something like XCOM. XCOM is a turn-based, so you move your soldiers, you have a shooting phase, you shoot, then you can do something else, and then it's the opponent's turn. This is basically what Warhammer is. Besides from that, you toss a lot of dices, and you use that to calculate the shots that you get in and all those things. Alright, so now we are finished here, and I'm not sure why it keeps complaining. And let's fold it up now that we're at it. So why am I telling you this? Well, besides the fact that when I make this video right now, it is tomorrow that I have to go to this interview, and I am quite excited about it. But other than that, if I get the job, and that is of course a relatively big if, it will have some impact on the videos that I make. Hopefully not the quality. Maybe it could have a good impact. I'm not sure about that, but nevertheless, it will have an impact on the number of videos that I will make, because obviously if I get a full-time job at Games Workshop, or well, for that matter, anywhere else, I will have much less time for making YouTube videos. I hope that everyone can see for themselves that is quite obvious. So, for those of you that are following me, just be aware that I might get in a situation where I will create a lot less content, actually. I know it's not very popular to saying that. I think that I really do hope and think that most people can understand it, but I can understand why it's not something that is very popular to say, because, well, I suppose that people do like to see videos on YouTube, and if there are someone out there, hopefully, who for them I am their favorite YouTube person and I play their favorite games, I can imagine, I can see I can understand why such a news would be not terrible but not pleasant also. It would be something like yeah, I can understand that, but well, there are definitely other considerations to be made. The fact that I am right now in between jobs, you could say, and I'm a home home dad. I take care of the kids. I take care of the house as much as I can, of course. And so that generally means that my wife is the one that brings the bacon. I don't have a problem with that, not at all. Not personally. It's not that I feel less of a man or less of anything actually, because she's the one making the money and I'm not. Because then I just fill out a different and just as important role. But it does, of course, mean that I have, when I have done my chores at home, and yes, let's be honest, they are chores, and I have sent the kids safely away to school and to not kindergarten, yeah, it is kindergarten actually. When I have done all that, I am, of course, free to make YouTube videos, and if I have to fill that role a little bit less and then a role where I am a full-time employee at Games Workshop, then I probably won't have that much time. Well, you could say logically that time I would be spent in another place. That's just the way it is. Now, I must say, I'm very excited about this job interview, and I am definitely also excited about that job. Of course, it has nothing to do with physics or my education whatsoever, but I have the interest, and you could also say the passion for Warhammer. So it would be, in the situation that I am in right now with the job opportunities that are for me as a high school teacher in physics and astronomy. Astronomy is not a very big subject in Denmark, and physics sort of almost always goes together with mathematics, which I don't have any education in formally. Of course, there's a lot of math in physics, but other than that, I don't have any formal math education that would make me able to teach math at a high school. So obviously, I'm not sure that is obvious, but for many Danish teachers at high schools, it is an obvious limitation to my job opportunities. So with my current job opportunities within the high school world, and within the high school world, and elsewhere, that is, it was the logical choice to apply for this job, and now I have been invited to this job interview, which, well, it must mean in some ways that they found my cover letter and my resume interesting. But obviously I will apply. If I don't get this job, I will obviously apply for other jobs. I would actually like to try to get back supporting computers at the university, because that would, well, at least bring me in some ways a little bit closer to physics once again. But yeah, that is just what I wanted to tell you. And we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm going to speed up time once again for you, so that you don't have to watch me plow this entire field once again. Well, it's a new field, of course, but one field more. And I guess that will be the end of this episode when I'm done with this. So yeah, see you in a little bit. Hello and welcome back. So, for you there's only been a couple of seconds, but for me there's almost been 2 days. Now, things have happened since I was away, or you were away. I'm not sure which one of us it is. But nevertheless, let me tell you a little bit about what has happened. So first of all, I went to that job interview at Games Workshop, and unfortunately I didn't go through the needle eye. And well, it's okay with me. Honestly, it was a long shot anyway, because retail sales, it's not exactly something I have an education in. I have a little bit of experience, not much, mostly student work, that is also. And finally we were a lot of people applying, and they picked out 3 people out of, I think it was 12 or 14 or something like that. So, well, it was a little chance. There was a little chance anyway, not much. Besides that, I found out while I paused this video, I didn't actually pause it, I stopped recording and I turned off my computer and I slept, but other than that, while I wasn't recording, I found out from Stevie that he had made an update, a serious update to the map. So I went and got that update, but as you can, well, probably imagine, such an update requires that you not reinstall, but you delete your save game and you make a new one. So that is what I have been doing while you were away. And I thought to myself, debated a little with myself what I wanted to do. Did I want to start completely over with the series, a new season? Or did I just want to figure out a way to involve you in the process that went to where we are now? Because right now we are at a point where fields 1 and 2 are ready to be seeded or planted, depending on what I want to do. But I also decided to change some things regarding the equipment that we have. So let me introduce you a little to that first. So first of all, I have bought a plow instead of the Courseplay. And I sort of debated with myself, well, the Courseplay is definitely easier to use, and I would still recommend it over anything else because it is easier to move around, and it's a one-way trip, so you don't have to first plow and then cultivate. You can do both things in one pass. But I also debated with myself, well, this is not only going to be easy for me, that's not the only point. The other point is also that it has to be interesting for you, and it has to have sort of a story behind it of some sorts. And I thought to myself, well, if this map is supposed to be somewhere in Germany that is relatively close to where I live in Denmark, so Germany is, well, the next closest country south of me, actually. So Germany is pretty close. It's a big country, that is, of course, so it is not just Germany. Well, there's a lot of Germany. But nevertheless, whether it's near Austria or it's near Denmark, the way people farm in those countries are pretty much the same. I have never seen anyone use a Courseplay, I must admit. In Denmark, we usually plow our fields and then we cultivate them using a disc harrow or something like that. But that's the usual way. Actually, I drove my children down to my parents just a minute ago. Well, not a while ago. Because we're holding my son's 8th birthday at my parents. So they are down there. And then I have to pick up my wife from work. And then we will also drive down there and help them tomorrow. But other than that, on that way, I saw at least one John Deere actually driving around with I think it was a disc harrow, possibly a cultivator, something like that. And I also saw a while later, another John Deere driving around with a plow. So that just goes to confirm in some sense that the most common action for farmers here in Denmark is to plow and then cultivate and then seed, and you know the rest. So I decided for myself that I think, well, in order to keep it interesting for you and also to have at least some sort of realism to it, because there is still lacking some realism. Also, the way I plow half of the grass with my plow, but still only well, you're going to see. But I decided for myself that I wanted a plow to do that. So obviously, I also bought I bought that disc harrow that I told you about. So let me just show you it. It is over here, parked over here. Let me turn on the light so you can better see. So here are the 3 tractors with their GPS and all that. This is the disc harrow. You can see it's used. So I have actually been doing something in the game. Here you have... here you have a seeder that I bought, a horse seeder. Because I think it's a reasonable size. It is something I would say you would probably also see in some of the relatively big farms here in Denmark. So this, actually I saw an image from the Danish, I think it was the Danish Ministry for farming ministry. I saw them on their cover page. They had a tractor seen from above it, pulling this exact seeder. I also chose to buy a planter, so again I bought the horse because, it is the same size. It's a 9-meter planter, so they are sort of siblings in some sense. And that's it. I think that's all I bought. Let me just see. This we had, and obviously also of course, but I did that in the last. I bought this Ursus T127 again. But yes, I think that's all. Let's just go around. This we know. There's nothing new here. That's it. So let me show you the state that we're in with the fields. Let me just show you one of them. So as you can see, this field here has been. Just go into the map so you can see. It's a little easier showing it in here. So as you can see, our fields have been cultivated, and they have also been plowed. So now they are in this little stripe here needs lime, and there's sort of stitches somewhere around that I haven't really been that good at plowing. But other than that, I have plowed them, I have fertilized them one time, and then I have limed them, and now I have cultivated them. But you're going to see that in the next little bit of tidbits that I have put together. It should be relatively short because I've sped up time. And then I will talk with you when you have seen that. It is just to give you an impression of what I've been doing. And I will also go through in the next episode how you're going to actually use a plow like that together with guiding steering, because obviously there are some nuances to how you do it. It's not just as easy. It is actually almost as easy as it is just to do anything else, but you need to be aware of that offset. But enough of me talking right now. Off with you and seeing the little tidbits that I have put together for you. Welcome back. I really hope you enjoyed those tidbits, so you sort of have, just so we are on the same page. Well, the idea of a series like this is that you follow me around in what I do on the farm. If I do all the work off screen, and then you just see some of the results, and suddenly I've bought some animals, and suddenly we have harvested a field full of corn or something like that, you won't be part of it. But obviously also because I didn't want to sort of make 3 videos of the exact same actions that I did, I decided that the best way would be to just show you some little tidbits, some little footage put together. You could call it B-roll or something like that, giving you an impression on what I've been doing, what led to this. But from here on now, I will keep you in the loop. I will let you be a part of the game as well, because that's the idea. And then also, well, I hope that there are no major updates coming from the map anytime soon, because as far as we go into the map and into the game, and yes, also into the map, it will take a lot longer time and be that much harder to sort of start over all the time. Fortunately, some of the updates I can see that Stevie has made has been without the requirement to restart your save game. So I guess the only thing that is left for me to do right now is to say thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this hectic and strange video where I in one part say that I'm going to a job interview, and in the next part I say that I didn't get the job in the same video. That's the crazy part. Well, I guess you're stuck with me for now, at least some time now, because well, I'm not going anywhere. And it's sort of I must say, both for me and my wife, and I suppose you could also say our family in sort of general, it is a bit bittersweet. Because like I said in the previous part of this video, it is a good thing that I'm home, because our son needs someone to be home when he comes home from school, and there is nowhere else for him to be, and that means that someone has to be there. And also, as my wife has these strange working hours, these strange, not strange, but off hours, late at night, night shift, all that, it is a good thing that I can also be home most of the day to take care of the house and take care of the children. But like I said, the bittersweet part, the other side is that we only have one income. Now, my wife certainly makes good money. We don't really need anything, but a second income would have been nice. But that's not going to be in this round, so I'll just keep on searching for work to do. Yeah. As always, if you like the video, then give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, just leave it be. And of course, if you want to follow me and see what I am up to in the future, then hit that subscribe button and that little bell next to it in order to get notifications whenever I make something new. Bye, and see you in the next video.